Let's say the electoral body and President William Ruto has assented to the IEBC Amendment Bill of 2022, paving way for the formation of a 7-member selection panel that will be tasked with the recruitment of a new IEBC chairperson and commissioners. This follows the retirement of electoral body chair Wafula Chebukati, commissioners Boya Molu and Abdi Gulie, as well as a controversial resignation of Juliana Cherera, Justus Nyang'aya and Francis Wanderi. So, does the ongoing tribunal hearing bear any impact on the recruitment process? NTV's Zainab Ismail explains.
By signing the IEBC Act into law, President William Ruto has kick-started the process of reconstituting the electoral body. The law states that a selection panel has to be formed at least 6 months before the lapse of the term of the chairperson or member of the commission, or in this instance, within 14 days of the declaration of a vacancy.
By definition, the commission is the commissioners and the secretariat. If one component is missing, you cannot argue that you have a commission in place. So right now, strictly speaking, we do not have a commission.
Let us pray.
Last week, the Senate passed the IEBC bill into law, which sought to alter the composition of the selection panel that would oversee the filling of the vacant positions in the electoral agency. The bill proposes to reduce the allocation of the Parliamentary Service Commission slots from the current 4 to 2. The Interreligious Council of Kenya will have 2 slots and 1 slot each for the Public Service Commission, the Political Parties Liaison Committee and the Law Society of Kenya. According to the IEBC Act, a person is qualified to be appointed as a member of the selection panel, must be a Kenyan citizen, meets the requirements of leadership and integrity set out in Chapter 6 of the Constitution, and holds a degree from a university recognized in Kenya. The IEBC Act stipulates that the nominating bodies shall, within 7 days of the declaration of a vacancy, submit the names of their nominees to the Parliamentary Service Commission for transmission to the President for appointment. In its first sitting, the panel must elect a chairperson and vice-chairperson from amongst its members and determine their own procedure. The selection panel shall then, within 7 days of its appointment, invite applications from qualified persons and publish the names of all the applicants and their qualification in the Gazette, 2 newspapers of national circulation, and on the PSC website. Now, the panel will then consider the applications, shortlist and interview the applicants. The interviews will be conducted in public. After the interviews, the panel will select 2 persons to be appointed chairperson and vice-chairperson and 9 persons qualified to be appointed as members of the commission and forward the names to the president for nomination of 1 person for appointment as the chair and 6 persons as members. The president shall then, within 7 days of receipt of the names, forward the list to the National Assembly for approval. If approved by the National Assembly, the President then shall, within 7 days of the receipt of the names, appoint the Chair and members of the Commission in accordance with the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act. However, as the Justice Aggrey Muchelule-led tribunal continues to probe the conduct of the 4 dissenting commissioners, only Irene Masit, who is yet to resign, continues to fight off allegations of violation of the Constitution and gross misconduct.
Her slot would not be advertised, because then that would be prejudicial to her. You would be assuming that the tribunal would end up removing her, recommending her removal.
So what happens if Commissioner Masit sails through the tribunal?
The High Court found that is Justice Anthony Mrima, that Commissioner Masit had in fact participated in party primaries in the last election and therefore had not cleared the constitutional threshold time frame of more than 5 years. But the court saved her appointment for reason that there were only 2 ladies at the commission, herself and the vice chairperson, which is Juliana Cherera. So what is outstanding now is for someone to move the High Court for interpretation of Justice Anthony Mrima's judgment as to whether, now that the elections are over, does Commissioner Masit still qualify to serve? And then the High Court would give an opinion which can then lead to a removal.
And with the uncertain timelines on whether the tribunal will make its final ruling, Masit's slot in the commission will have to remain pending unless a consensus is reached upon.
It would make sense for the president to hold on a bit, to allow the tribunal to finalize its work. If the tribunal's timelines are unknown and you can't tell when they would render their ruling, then it makes sense just to jumpstart the process, would then re-advertise afresh, the costs and the time and the resources notwithstanding.
Zainab Ismail, NTV.